This video is about Boston, Massachusetts. This is a document available in public domain about the purchase of Massachusetts, and then starting fires on that specific land from people that are coming from England.
Why? Why? Because it's the truth? No. It's just so they can just feel proud, justly feel proud. Well, I guess he is kind of alluding to the fact that of truth in the basis of it. He's saying that they can feel proud, but the citizens of the United States.
So this comment is regarding the history, the first part of the comment, the history of fire department. That is a fiction written by Mr. Riley that has no much connection with reality.
Need a history of the first department organized in this country. They just need a history. They didn't have it because there maybe wasn't. So let's look at chapter 1, actually starting in 1627. Massachusetts is purchased. Purchased. From whom? From whom do you purchase Massachusetts? The colonists depart England, settle in Boston, or depart, they didn't depart England, they departed Jamestown or we'll get to it, a different colony, I think. Set the boundary of the town, maybe. They don't say set. Growth, and then the fires begin. The first building law, and they outlawed fire. This is funny. They outlawed fire in 1653, and they outlaw fire about 100 times more throughout the years. They keep outlawing fire. They'll probably outlaw fire this year. It's against the law. It's against the law for fire. And it's according to the law that things must be protected against fire. Then they have a law regarding pulling down buildings, which is going to be a continual thing here. So, and then allowances to owners of houses for having their buildings demolished. Demolished. You're a brand new colony. We're talking the 16 something in America. And right away we're talking about what? Burning stuff. We're talking about gunpowder, orders for having your buildings demolished, provisions about gunpowder, because you have to have powder, and the law regarding pulling down buildings. And my gosh, what's going on? What is going on right from the beginning? And you would think that everything would be like especially in the mid 1600s, you're going to have places called Castle Island, and the castle burned July 19th, 1672. Burning of the castle on Castle Island. Okay, historians, esteemed professors of history, please explain to me. Please explain to me, because I don't understand. Why is there a castle in Boston just a few years after the very first colonists depart? And from whom did they purchase this castle and all the land of Massachusetts? I am confused, because they did not teach me in history about people going ahead of the colonists. What, Native Americans built the castles? Who built these castles? And why did they suddenly burn? I mean, you're going into a land that is reportedly and ostensibly just a wilderness. with some teepees and wigwams, and you just happen to find a freaking castle on an island there, and on an island, you know, and you guys, and they go and they burn it down, and they're just mainly concerned with pulling down and demolishing buildings. Just, and then it's just one fire after the other from then on. I mean, ad nauseum. Now, one thing I have to mention is in these early histories, well, they have a lot of mention of smallpox, but in these early histories, they have, obelisk. I didn't notice that before. There's an obelisk that burned. How does a stone obelisk burn? How does a stone obelisk burn? So much strangeness, I tell you. But okay, so this is just the table of contents here. So we'll just jump ahead. I mean, that kind of gets, it's kind of spoiler alert here. So I'm just going to go through. We don't want the spoilers. We just want to get right into it. So, Charleston, that was that one. So they went from Charlestown, and they safely landed. So these are the first of the first, other than the scouts. A little band sailed from Yarmouth, England, in the ship Arbella, and they landed on Endicott, and they weren't pleased, and they reported to land in Charlestown. And so they went to Charlestown, but there wasn't much fresh water, objectionable features. I need more detail, but they don't give it. And then get this, they accepted the invitation of Mr. William Blackstone, or Blackstone, who had settled at Boston, or Shawmut, Living Fountain, as it was called by the Indians and by the Native Americans and by the people of Charlestown. It was called Tri-Mountain. So that's the real name of the civilization who lived there, was either Tri-Mountain or Shawmut. It's probably kind of a combination. The town took its present name after they bastardized it. Tri-Mountain shall be called Boston, Mattapan, Dorchester, and the town upon Charles River, Watertown. Well, okay.